Alva! 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 Who did? Tell me! How to get burned! How to get burned! How to get burned! Back up! Back up! I swear to God I won't shoot you! This is murder! Murder! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey! Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Ah!
22-minute podcast. 22-minute podcast. Don't wanna take up much of your time. Just gonna read some headlines. Stuff.
Welcome to the 22-Minute Podcast. My name is Wes Sievertson. Today is Tuesday, January 7th. It just doesn't have a ring. Just doesn't have that same
No, it doesn't.
ring to
Tuesday, January 7th.
it. Nope.
Nope.
And I'm here with Mike Finley.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, so Tuesday. What's up?
Nothing. If y'all couldn't tell
It's
by
gonna
the
be-
opening,
Right. It is Nick Cage's
it's
birthday.
Nicolas Cage.
The greatest American actor I think ever to exist. Now, can you argue that, hey, you got Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Mhm.
right? You got, who else is up there? Who else is really up there as far as Americans? I feel like I'm definitely blanking. Like, I'm not talking about, Brad Pitt. No. Brad Pitt is a B-plus actor at best.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure, which
yeah.
is really good.
No,
Leo,
for sure,
Leo,
for sure.
you know. Leo is probably the guy that you would... but Leo didn't create his own goddamn style.
No,
like
right,
that's
right,
ultimately what I'm
right,
getting at.
right,
Whoever
yeah.
you can stack up next to Nick Cage,
Morgan Freeman.
that's interesting. I haven't thought about that, but he has an approach.
Well, just
he has
like-
a very thoughtful
Yeah,
approach to
yeah,
every single
yeah.
character. Every
Yeah.
single character has a lot going
Well, just
on.
like watching Seven.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
This past weekend
Sure.
on like on the big screen. Like I've never seen it before. Like it was just like there's a lot of things that I'd never noticed before
Yeah.
watching.
No, he is
like,
really fantastic.
Very
You're right.
loved the choices that he made.
I mean, Denzel's another one too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I think Morgan Freeman's characters, like an expression I've heard is like characters can feel lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Where they clearly feel like they didn't just walk on stage, like they
Right.
existed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've been somewhere before now,
Mhm.
and they're just continuing to exist. His characters feel like so deeply lived in,
Mhm.
like Morgan Freeman. You're right. No, he's fantastic, but still, none of them have created
No, yeah, you're
their
right.
own acting style.
Yeah.
That's ultimately
Yeah.
why I think he's the greatest American actor. Because he's still as believable. I mean, not in everything, because he does have his own style that can be very jarring depending on what you're watching or
Sure.
whatever. But if he wants to be, he's done it a couple times, I think, to make money.
Sure.
Where he's like, cool, I'll just do the acting thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it feels like. He's like, I'll just choose to do the thing that y'all like.
Right.
And look, I could do that. It's almost like, did we talk about it on the podcast where like I'm not a huge David Lynch fan or whatever, but I love a simple story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The old man on the tractor,
Yep.
cross country.
Yep.
I can't remember if we talked about that on the podcast, but
I don't know if we did on the podcast, but
Yeah.
I think we have talked about it.
where that was like, I don't remember who, but like a friend of his, like kind of challenging him and being like, you just make these weird movies that like narrative doesn't seem to even matter to you. Like you couldn't make, I guess, a simple story.
Yeah.
If you wanted, and he was just like, watch me, and that's how Nick Cage feels. Like sometimes he just is like, not that he's proven it. I think it is. He's, I'm sure there's an essay out there about like the 4 acts of Nick Cage's career or whatever, where like the third act was, I just got to take everything I possibly can because
Sure,
I went
sure.
bankrupt,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of thing. So there are a couple, like Pig is one of those.
I
You know.
loved that movie.
Like I'm sure there's plenty of his style in there. It's just that character is so subdued, and maybe that's the thing. Is like the director was like, "You want to play it this low? We can do that."
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Whereas other directors might not have been comfortable with like, no, I just need more outward emotion or something
Sure,
like that.
sure.
Because I love that movie.
Yeah.
And he sets the tone. That's a movie where he absolutely, like, I'm sure another actor could have come in and been like, this is how I want to do it, and they could have adjusted the filmmaking around that, and it would have been just as compelling. But Nick Cage chose something, and I think, yeah, like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's plenty of collaboration, whatever. But he just holds that movie down the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I've been watching this movie for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just so sucked in.
Yeah.
I love him. I really do. It's fun because we could have played. I was thinking about playing like parts of Raising Arizona because that's just like a movie from my childhood.
Sure. Yeah.
Where I was always gonna like Nick Cage because of Raising Arizona, and that's one too where like there's such little subtle things that he does. I mean, maybe they're not so subtle, but they feel like such conscious choices that don't have to be there, and that's what I think is the subtle choices.
Yeah.
Where it's like, again, like you wouldn't notice if they weren't there, or just like I like the one of the things that really stands out to me is like he's so scared that he's gagging like at one point in that. Like I've not seen that in any other movie. I've not seen that expressed where like, but that's like how do I make this violent moment still violent and scary but hilarious?
Yes. And he does it so well.
But at the same, but you know what's great is like, I've read a couple, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever books that express the sentiment that bravery isn't simply having confidence in battle, right? Bravery or in the face of violence or something like that, because you're not stipulating there. Are you choosing this violence? Are you actually the perpetrator? It's violence and being an active part in it isn't what is brave. It's being Nick Cage, staring down this guy who has like knives and shit, and he's got this board.
Right.
And even though he's clearly like shitting his pants, he's still standing there looking at him, trying to protect so and so. Like that's bravery, knowing that like I'm gonna die, but I got to do this.
Right.
I mean that's such a great moment of showing and not telling. Like I mean, it's not Nick Cage yelling, "I'm scared, but I'm standing right here." It's him gagging and still standing right there. Like that's great filmmaking.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anywho, all right. January 7th. It's Nick Cage Day. What
That's
are you
right.
gonna do?
Right. No, right.
If you haven't seen Raising Arizona, you gotta. I mean, it's just
any opportunity
so
you
great.
get to watch any Nicolas Cage film, you probably should.
Pretty much. I'm sure. I mean, again, I'm not gonna. We were talking about this before. I'm not gonna watch. Oh gosh, just burped. Excuse me. Growth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch Ghost Rider.
Yeah. One or two.
Or probably Knowing.
No. Yeah.
It was around the same time.
Yeah.
Like 2008,
yeah.
2009. But pretty much anything
I think
else.
Knowing is aliens. I think I actually watched that.
With aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, it turns out,
Like a
there's
telepathic
aliens. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's actually an alien telepathic thing, yeah.
Take all the children.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Scout.
Well, the planet explodes.
That's my impression of you.
Scout. Oh, no, Scout.
Scout, no.
Listen, have you seen my daughter? I found
name
her
is
shoe.
Scout. Yeah. This is her shoe. That's not our joke, Mike.
Wait, no. That's not your bit?
No.
Whose bit is that?
That's Joe's bit.
Is that really?
That's 100% Joe's bit.
I've only ever heard you say that.
Oh,
No,
really? I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I stole that from Joe.
Oh, my God.
Have you seen my daughter? This is her shoe.
This is like my son. Have you seen my son? This is his shoe.
Well, I don't think Well, I mean, I always thought it was a reference. Well, I don't know. I don't think that's my bit.
Well, I've never heard you say it, and I love it. So thank you for showing it to me.
Again, I don't think it's my bit. But for some reason, I do have this reference to Look Who's Talking Now.
Oh, the sequel.
I think that's the third one.
Is it? Oh, yeah, no, because you're right, because there's Look Who's Talking, Look Who's Talking 2.
But maybe I am
where
thinking
he
of Look
gets
Who's
a
Talking
sister.
2. Okay, I'm thinking one of the sequels.
Yeah. I don't
See,
know. There's
Look
a
Who's
third.
Talking-
That's wild.
3 movies, yes. Like, it's a trilogy. Forgotten. No one talks about Look Who's Talking
Yeah.
anymore. John Travolta.
John Travolta,
what's her
Bruce
name?
Willis, Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley, excuse me. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes,
Jesus.
there's just a scene where like he. Maybe I did. Maybe this was my bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Love it. Okay.
I don't because the thing is John Travolta basically does that in the movie. Is like he's trying to or in the movie. Yes, he's at like a movie theater in the movie, and he's trying to get to the like, front of some line. And it's not like Have You Seen My Son? It's he takes off his son's shoe and he like pockets it. And he's like, hey, my son lost his shoe in there or something like that.
Okay.
But in my mind,
My son, have you seen my son?
this is his shoe. But I swear that's Joe's bet. I swear it's Joe's bet.
I love it. I love it. Either way.
It's one of my
Thank
favorites,
you.
that's for
Thank
sure.
you so much.
Yeah, whoever's bet it is.
Great job, y'all.
But I got to give credit. All right.
On this day in 1999,
Uh-huh.
the impeachment trial of U.S. President Bill Clinton began in the Senate. He was acquitted in February, but yeah, he did not have sexual relations with that woman.
What do you define as sexual relations?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Mormons, you know, what do? They
Ear
like
stuff? Is that a South Park bit?
maybe. My mind. You just said ear stuff, and I just had images, and I couldn't get out of it. No.
Maybe I saw that on Family Guy, actually. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think it's called soaking.
Oh my god.
Is what they do.
Oh yeah.
We're like, if I'm correct, it's you insert.
and then you just leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but you might have like some friends, right? And they might jump on the bed.
Is that a thing? Like
I'm
you
sure
have
it's
friends-
happened.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go soaking. Oh, well, I need some people to come
I'm
jump
starting
on the bed.
to really think that I'm a prude
You're a prude.
because because I'm like, no one else needs to be in this room. You know, like that's me, and I feel like that's
Got
not
plans
how.
to soak on Thursday. I don't know if you get some free time to come in, jump around.
Just in my 35th year of this life, I'm starting to believe that 6 out of listen. I'm starting to believe that 6 out of 10 people are like, bring another person in, let's go, or like, you want to watch or something, or I want to watch or whatever. And like, I'm not judging that.
Right.
I just don't need it,
Yeah,
and I'm just
yeah.
starting to realize that I might be the outlier.
Huh.
You know.
I mean, I don't think I've ever. I know for a fact actually that I've never wanted anybody else to like come on in. We're in the middle.
Hey,
of
tell me
something.
how I'm doing. No, it wouldn't be like that. But,
Come in and give me a crisp high five.
Well, you know, maybe that gets people.
Yeah, you know it does, and I'm sure
Jazzed.
it could.
It is that thing where it's just like, I don't want you involved with what
Yeah.
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That's what it really is for
Yeah.
me. It's not like even a physical presence kind of thing. It's that there is something really happening in my brain
Yeah.
right now in this intimate sexual moment, and
Have you ever had somebody like walk in on you?
I mean, okay. I'll tell a story.
I'll tell a story too. I asked because at one point I was
Uh-huh.
seeing a lady. I was living with Will. We lived in the loft in Las Colinas. And I was
Your story's so much more innocent than mine. But yeah.
inside of a lady. And then
That's a way to
Will,
put it, yeah.
Will comes in,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay right here inside of you. I guess I was soaking.
You were soaking.
Didn't know I was soaking at the time. I learned today that I was soaking.
Yes.
That Will came in. I can't remember. I think he was going to go out and play basketball with Ryan, maybe. But like, I have like a 7-minute conversation with my brother while I'm on top of my
Maybe
lady.
it's not as innocent.
Inside of my lady.
uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, well, great. See you later, Will.
I mean, this is the thing, is I can understand there's an excitement to that.
Well, I wasn't excited about it. I was like, oh, fuck, okay,
Sure.
don't move. Just like stay still.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
obviously, like, he must have come back and like seen that, okay, my brother's shirt's off. He's on top of a lady in his bed. Like,
Yeah, it's weird to share an open loft with your bro.
Yeah.
In your 20s. I mean, sometimes you got to do it.
No, it's right.
Anyway, no. That disgusting apartment? That Zach had.
With the one that
And
okay,
he was
hold on,
dating,
the one that
uh-huh.
I lived in
Yeah,
with. Okay,
uh-huh.
okay, yeah, the first one.
And he was dating somebody, and that person had a friend, and I started, not dating that person, but
Sure.
they probably would have liked that.
Yeah.
And I was a fuckboy.
Look at you. Yeah, it's summer of the
how old was I? 19.
Yeah,
So
that sounds about right.
19-year-old Wes was not a good person.
Okay.
I don't know that 35-year-old Wes is a good person.
Sure, but
No, so like I was just sleeping on the futon,
uh-huh.
and he was sleeping on the couch, and like y'all were in the bedroom or something. And yeah, they came over, like his girlfriend and then the girl, her friend.
Okay.
And she just like sat down, but then she like laid down, but then I just like started having sex with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, and all of y'all, like her friend figured it out pretty quick and was pretty upset.
That you guys were having sex next to her?
Yeah, I was just in the living room.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, it checks out how dirty this apartment
yeah,
is.
like I'm not. This is the thing. I didn't really. like I'm just telling the story because.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Well,
yeah.
no, because like I don't want to lie.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
This,
Okay, so you were
is
having
part of
sex
my
with
past.
this lady's friend, and then the lady was upset about it.
Well, I think everybody was upset when they realized she was just the one who figured out what was going on,
Uh-huh.
and so she got upset, and I think pretty much everybody got upset.
I don't remember. Was I there at that point?
I don't know.
Okay.
know. Yeah. I mean, you know. Yeah. Bad times. I did a lot of wasting my life.
Oh. I mean, we were in that.
I hope my mom doesn't listen to this one. I mean, really, that's the only thing.
Oh, that's so good.
You know what though? She's probably done crazier shit, and that's a part of my suspicion that at least 6 out of 10 people are more willing to do crazier shit than I am. Yeah, there's probably plenty of people who heard that story who were like, that's nothing. That's absolutely
sure.
nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that
I've had like I don't like drinking anymore, but I've definitely had the experience of describing like how much I drank and people just being like, that's nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, really? Because I am surprised I'm alive.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately. All right, turning 28, Lamar Jackson.
That's right. Quarterback
He's
for
quarterback. The Ravens.
the Ravens.
The,
That's right.
The Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore. Baltimore. The Wire. That's all I got. Dead but born on this day, serial killer Israel Keys.
New Metal Killer.
Oh, is that what they...
I think so.
Someone's called him that. You know what? I know that.
I just like on that other podcast, like they definitely emphasized like him loving certain styles of music.
I wonder what their research, was he like, I guess they characterized it as like nu metal probably was playing while he was murdering people. Because see, I feel like I'm conflating him with another serial killer, like the guy who like was kind of like pretending to be Dexter. I don't remember if that was him or not.
Oh no, it's not. But
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Gotcha.
Like he was definitely heavily inspired by Dexter and just fucked it up.
Right, he was an idiot,
Yes.
obviously. Anyway, yeah, Israel Keys, whatever. He's not like one of the more interesting. I mean, not that we should be ranking serial killer cases by how interesting they are, I suppose, but unfortunately, I think after the 70s, because this guy was like the 2000s.
Yeah.
And early 2000s or like late 90s too, or something like that. But after like the wave in the 70s, 80s, yeah, we're so desensitized. It's pretty crazy. And maybe that would be different. Maybe that will be different if there's like 20 years of no serial killers.
Sure.
But there's a lot of serial killers.
There's a lot of serial killers. There's a lot of just mass violence that happens on a regular day basis. So it's just
There's actually less kind of homicide homicide rates are going down in America, but I think that's more of like there are less extremely violent outbursts of concentrations of violence on a day-to-day basis, but mass violence is not something going down.
Right.
Whereas like these attacks that happened a couple days ago or whatever,
Right.
It's so funny. Like, I mean, it's not fun. Nothing about it's funny.
Right.
But like using a vehicle as a weapon, right? Like
2 trucks in one day.
Yeah. One was used as like a explosive source, I guess, for like
But I think
fuel
the driver
shit.
was in the vehicle still.
Yeah, suicide, terrorist attack.
Were they both? Were they both
don't-
cyber trucks? I think
No.
Okay.
No, because one of them was like a white pickup something. Or another.
Okay.
No. Anyway. No. It just goes to show like. I remember being very the contrarian in high school, and like the girl who was a vegetarian and like human, animal rights or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do you drive a car? Like, just the fact that we are on the roads in these vehicles, like we kind of accept that a number of animals are going to die.
100%.
So you are, and like you don't need to bother yourself
Sure,
with that. I was
sure.
an asshole. So,
Yeah.
Hey, I just described how I was acting when I was 19. All right, it wasn't much better when I was 16. Okay?
Right. A few years prior.
Right. I maybe had a little less confidence and a little less. I'm totally blanking on a very simple word, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. No. Okay. Doesn't matter. Anywho. You don't need to concern yourself with that, but there is a certain sense of like that still emphasizes we don't really consider how much we just accept the amount of death that happens because of cars.
Yeah.
I mean, again, another way to kind of look at it is 2,000 people died, or 2,500 people died in 9/11, and because it's a terrorist attack, it's something that is a and it is a tragedy. I'm
Sure.
not saying it's
Yes,
not a
yes,
tragedy,
yes,
but
yes.
like we characterize it, it becomes a part of our history. Well, 10 times that amount of people die every single year on the roads.
Right.
And it just kind of, same thing with lung cancer from
Well,
cigarettes.
you even go back like 40 years prior to that. The amount of like people who would die from a car accident, like, were significantly higher because they
it was
try
probably
to make
still less death, but the percentage was higher.
it's
Yeah.
like huge.
Well, that's another interesting thing when they talk about, like, statistically, it's safer to fly on airplanes. It's like, okay, but, statistically, there are billions of motor vehicle transportations happening every single day.
Right.
And that's a pretty relatively large number compared to the, flights happening. So
Right.
I need, like, a reflection of, like, we need to cross-multiply and get, like, a harder number for that. Anyway, we got 10 seconds left.
Happy birthday, Jeremy Renner.
Still alive. Good job, man. The Hurt Locker himself.